Thank you, Madam Chair, and I want to thank all of you for being with us here today and for your testimony. And I wanted to follow up on some of the things that have been discussed. One is in the area of the coordinated research. You mentioned both long-term research, market acceptance, coordinated roadmap, strategic plan. It seems like those themes keep coming up. And then there's also the coordinated framework for the regulation of biotechnology that hasn't been updated since 1992. And I'm assuming the memo, the White House memo, was instructing that that would be updated. Is that correct? I've heard different agencies mentioned, the EPA, USDA, FDA. Who is the point on that? Is there one agency that's the convener in that? That's Dr. Maxon.
The Office of Science and Technology Policy is working with all three agencies because all three agencies regulate products that are biotechnology products. One of the challenges I think my colleagues have referred to is there are bioinnovations that straddle agencies that seem to belong partly in the domain of the USDA and partly in the domain of the FDA. And the EPA, for that matter. There are examples where all three agencies might be involved. So I think what's really promising about this is there will be an opportunity to not only to update, but also to clarify the roles of the agency. Who is the lead agency when a company wants to have discussions? So all three and the Office of Science and Technology Policy working together.
And are you all giving input to that process? Do you feel like you're at the table discussing that with them?
I know there was a recent request for information. Several companies did submit information. There will be another chance. A couple of more, I think there are 2 more public meetings scheduled. The first one was held on September 30th, I believe, at the FDA. There'll be 2 other meetings scheduled around the country starting in January, I believe. There'll be plenty of opportunity.
Okay, and then what's the timing on, would it be a new rule, a new regulation, a framework that comes out, and then there'd be a public comment period after that framework comes out?
I can't speak to the definite product of the expected products. I do know that in addition to the work of the agencies, there will, around the coordinated framework itself, there will be there's an expectation, as outlined in the memo, for a long-term strategic plan to be delivered in a fairly short time frame by the agencies. So they have a couple of jobs to do. But I do believe that there will be open comment on any product that comes out.
Okay. Any others have any comment on that?
Many of the partner companies we work with who are already engaged in large-scale manufacturing are stimulated to become involved in this process by the writing is on the wall for them, that if they don't embrace the new technology, their competitiveness with the products that they make will be eclipsed by others who have. Mm-hmm. So this framework is really required to maintain the United States lead in the manufacturing of many of these goods, without which we will be stuck manufacturing products using 1980s, 1990s technologies, and others will be employing the more advanced technologies and have better economics around manufacturing.
And is the framework the same as the strategic plan, or is that totally different?
These are 2 different.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then who is driving the strategic plan?
I believe from the memo, the effort is the administration with the Office of Science and Technology Policy in concert with the 3 regulatory agencies. But I believe OSTP is working with the agencies. I don't want to say they're running it, but they're coordinating it.
Okay. Dr. Evans, did you have a comment on that?
Not on the last question. I was on your question before. The thing that is important is the predictability. That is what is important for us in, say, the ag industry, where our development timelines are a decade. And so when you have policy shifts, or in particularly when you have policy frameworks that don't have a strong science base, so that you can bring data to the decision to try to move and have an informed and data-driven process, that's where things get increasingly challenging for us to make investment decisions. that are reliable and robust.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you for your insights.
I now recognize Congressman Abraham.